Again, going back to rebuilding some shoulder mobility and stability, we're going to start with moving in and out of a bit of a child's pose. So again, we're back in that 4-point stance, but this time we're going to take the toes together and the knees slightly wider. I want the lower body to be relatively comfortable. Upper body is working. So you're trying to draw those armpits to sort of tuck them into your body and then send yourself back into what should be sort of a child's pose, but it's super active. When you get here, give yourself permission to kind of sink into one shoulder or the other and then pull yourself back in to the 4-point stance, the quadruped. Push back. So the work is coming from my upper body. My shoulders are drawn away from the ears, and I want to make sure that my neck is also active through the full range. So I'm using the weight of my torso to open up the shoulder. From there, once you feel like you've gained enough mobility that you feel happy with it, you find yourself on your roller, making sure that we're supporting the tailbone as well as the head. Again, finding length through the neck. And from here, the shoulders can droop open if you allow them to, but you're not going to. You're going to find yourself again in that solid wide shoulder. The thumbs are going to go overhead. Slight bend through the elbow, activity all the way to the hands. And again, the rest of the body is relatively active, so sort of planked-ish. And from here, notice the distance between your fingers. It's roughly shoulder distance to start. Drawing strength in through that bottom rib. We're going to draw the arms overhead. They might go in a bit of a V, they might not, and then come back to where you came from. So nice and slow, the shoulder blades slide down the back, opening up across the chest, and then pull back. And here you can start to notice if you've got more mobility in one side or the other. So for me, currently, my right shoulder is a bit gummy, so it might not go as far down as my left. But what I want to find is strength through my anterior chain as I pull the shoulders open. Once that feels accessible for you, you can grab onto some sort of springy resistance and finding a way to grab onto it so your thumbs are still leading the way towards the floor. As you draw the arms overhead, you can split the band and then control it. Super important that you control it as you come back. So as the arms go overhead, the thumbs separate, moving towards the floor. But as my hands come back over my chest, I want to control them returning back to shoulder height. So making sure that that eccentric contraction on the way back to a neutral space is just as controlled and delightful as a concentric moving down.